To start this tutorial off, I'm using pre-cut wood scraps from a tree that I cut down. You could use any type of wood except for the solid woods, the hardwoods, I mean. So basically all my necklaces and jewelry type things that I'm making will all be from pre-scrap versus, you know, a few extras out of normal wood. So just give you a heads up on that. Cut them with a miter saw. So you want to use any type of saw that you have available. You don't need to use a miter saw, I just prefer it. Alright, let's get started. Start off by 3/8 bit. And I'm drilling a hole in the middle of it. And once I get the hole through the middle, I'm rocking it back and forth so I can make the hole a little bit wider for the stone bit I'm going to put in the Dremel. So you put the stone bit on the Dremel, and then you start to make your hole for your finger. You want to try to size it up with your finger as much as you can before you put on the sanding bit. The sanding bit, you'll be using it to drill the inside to finish it off. The reason why I do it that way is so that you get all the corners and edges and it's perfectly round for your finger. So that's why I just use the stone bit first, and then I use the sanding bit. I make the hole big enough so that I can fit the sander inside. Then I start on the outside, clean the outside up, start to round it up after I take off all the bark, of course. What you want to do is sand along the edges of the inside of the ring while you're going, and just thin out the sides. As you notice, that thinning out the sides, you want to make sure that when you put it on your finger that it feels comfortable. So you want to keep thinning it to about a little bit under, like a couple centimeters in thickness. It's kind of like molding, or it's kind of like having a hand sander or a sandpaper. How you would do it that way, like it takes less time to do it this way, and you could just kind of get a feel for it after a while. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Just after a while, you get used to being able to shape it the way you want. Next, I'm going to paint on black paint instead of using white like some people do, but I just use, go ahead with the black paint. And then I put on some Mod Podge that will keep it protected. I do a couple layers of the Mod Podge, let them dry between about 5-10 minutes. I usually put it by fan or air conditioner or whatever to help dry it quickly. And then I take my pencil, I'll make the TriForce in the middle. I usually make one big triangle, and then I just split them off from there. Or you can make the upside down triangle and then make the 3 others around it, and then you'll just have your TriForce. But then next, I am using the wood burner to burn those spots on. I'm using the tip that is flat on one side, but has a it comes into like a tip, to a long, narrow tip. This tip, you could find collections at the store. They usually come with a bunch of different tips together. And if I make any mistakes, I use a little bit of sandpaper to try to sand it up a bit. You want to burn just enough down. And if you make any mistakes, if you burn outside of where you want it, you can just paint over it. See, now here I'm painting the yellow one now after I burnt design in. And then the last step is to add some Mod Podge all over it. Make sure you let them dry between each layer. Do 3 to 6 layers, whatever you want. I usually use just 3 because, I don't know, it's been working good with the wood to just use a couple and they still stay shiny for a while. And you just repeat that. You could use the protective finish if you would prefer it, but I just like using Mod Podge because it makes it slipperier on my finger, so I can get it on and off. And you can see the final look at the end. I made mine kind of like Pittsburgh Steelers inspired, except I don't have, you know, all three colors. I just have what it would look like sort of on their jerseys on the sides, because I thinned out the sides a bit the way I wanted them. If you want to check out my Pinterest, I have my other ones on Pinterest as well.